Alright guys, my name's Moose. I'm the defensive line coach at the University of South Dakota. Coach talked a lot about fundamentals and techniques. I'm a loud guy. I don't even know if I need this microphone thing. Is it too loud? Is it alright? Okay. A couple of things about me. I'm as simple as they come to football. I don't want my guys to have to think a lot. When you play defensive line and you're up front, stuff happens right now. And it is fast. So in order to be a great defensive lineman, you have to think, you got to be really smart. Make sense? Stuff triggers fast for you. So your actions, you have to have reactions to those. My main focus with these guys up front is to train their mind and to train their body and overtrain the techniques and fundamentals every single day. Coach talked about getting 30 minutes. I'm the guy that's bitching I don't have enough time. I want more time to work on fundamentals and techniques. I am a very, very strong believer in that. And here's a couple reasons why. Both of you. Okay? Everybody know who J.J. Watt is? NFL player, great, makes a lot of money, awesome guy, big, strong, and all that. Turn around, face that way. Okay? These two coaches are not J.J. Watt. You're not going to coach J.J. Watt, neither am I, right? Make sense? But if I take him and her and I teach them the fundamentals and techniques and they get really, really good at them so they don't have to think, they're going to play faster. Okay, does that make sense? So I don't have J.J. Watt. I don't have a 6'9", 330-pound guy that's just going to take people and throw them around like rag dolls and make sacks or tackles. I have a 5'10", 240-pound nose guard that'll wreck shop. He'll take your soul. Okay? That's the kind of guys I want to coach. It doesn't matter the size. I'm bigger than both of them. And they can probably kick my butt if I teach them the right things to do. Okay, does that make sense? Let me call you back. But the whole key is making sure that your players understand why you want them to do something. If you don't explain the why, they're not going to be very good. No different if your head coach says, I want you to go stand over there for 10 hours straight. Why? Because it's going to help us. Well, that doesn't make any sense. But if I tell somebody to shoot their hands a certain way, and here is why, because it allows them to get leverage and grab a hold of the shoulder pads and control an offensive lineman, they're more apt to do it. Make sense? So that's very, very important to me that everybody understands that. A couple other things is I just want to talk about a little bit before we get going. Whenever I talk about a shade or a technique, it's on half of the body. Okay? You guys with me there? You'll hear me talk about their feet. Unbelievable amount on their feet. I always talk about their feet being in the box. Alright? That's from their caboose to the width of their shoulders. Inside that square. Not out here. You have no power there. All your power is from your base or the box. Okay, so you're going to hear me talk about that a little bit. Number one thing that I'm yelling at my guys about all the time is their eyes. To make sure they're looking at their key. We key the V, which is right here. And it doesn't matter what you key, it's my belief. You have your own belief on what you want your players to look at. But there's this string that goes from your eyes to your hands to your feet. You guys know that there's a string in your body that does that? Meaning this, if my eyes go over here, my body, my hands and my feet have to follow. I can't play this way. I have no power or strength. Everything has to be in line, so when I'm taking on a half a man and I step, everything is through, so my eyes will not lie to me. Thus coming back to the action-reaction. Okay? Is everybody following me? Yes? Okay. So, core fundamentals and techniques, everyday drills. When you talk about progression and how you teach, I break down everything I do into its finest, purest form. So if I'm working a hands drill, I only want to work my hands. If I'm working a key drill to understanding what kind of block I'm getting, the action, what kind of reaction do I get, I want to break it down and do one-on-one stuff. Break your drills down and then build them back up. Don't just throw the whole drill at them and tell them you got to do this. They don't understand why or what parts they have to get better at. Okay? You should be able to demonstrate the drill as a coach. Some people don't do it. You'd be shocked. They just get out there and say, go hit the sled. Well, how? Why? Make sure you're teaching the finest points of that drill and that you can execute them. Okay? When we talk about playing defensive line, we talk about the little things. Your stance. Knowing the down and distance affects our stance. Okay? How we change it. Where your eyes are at, pre-snap and post-snap. Initial key or primary key, secondary key. Where your hands are placed, your feet, and where are your hips in regards to the block that you're facing. Okay? Is everybody with me? Make sense? When we talk about stance, there's two types of stances that I teach. One is a run stance, one is a pass stance. When we talk about staggering, I know it's tough for you to see my feet, but I will not have very much stagger in my stance. So if my right hand goes down, my right foot is going back, I want my toes to be just in the inside ball of my left foot. That is a base run stance for us in South Dakota. Reason being is this. I don't want them taking a big giant step when they're playing the run, because their feet will be out of the box. If I have a short stagger, I can take a short step based on down and distance. So 1st and 10, 2nd and 5, 3rd and 2, my guys will work out of a run stance. 3rd and long, 2nd and long are tendencies that we've talked to them about during the week, saying this is a pass down for this team, play the percentage. We go to a toe to heel stagger. So we have a bigger stagger, so we take a bigger first step to gain more ground on the offensive lineman. Those are little things, but it's amazing that if you harp on those little things, guys pay attention and they execute them. If you don't keep talking about the little things, they get forgotten. You start working on scheme and stunts and blitzes and all that other kind of stuff that we do as defensive linemen, and you forget about their stance, they can never get going. They can't get out of their stance, or they stand straight up. Those are all little things. Make sure that you talk to them about. When we talk about our hands, our thumbs are always up. We want our hands coming straight out from our body, making sure that we see where our hands make contact. You're not going to get perfect hand position every time on an offensive lineman. But you can grab a hold of his jersey and squeeze the blood out of it to control his body. Okay? It's not going to be perfect. I understand that. But if my guys can get their hands on them, they're winning. And that's the number one thing. And then your hips. If this is the line of scrimmage, okay, this platform here, when you watch your players on film or in drills, make sure that their hips stay parallel to the line of scrimmage. They don't get perpendicular. If they're getting turned against the run, they're going to be high. Which way are they going to go? Backwards, right? In order to have leverage, your feet have to stay in the box, your hips have to stay square, your hands have to be in good contact so you have that 45 degrees and your hips can roll out. Those are little things. Where's their toes at? Where's their hands at? Where's their feet at? Where are their eyes at? All little things add up. Make sure that they're square to the line of scrimmage. So when we start talking about our everyday drills, our EDDs, Coach talks about having 30 minutes, I want 45, because I want to spend more and more time on it. I want my guys working on their get-off. How fast can they get off the rock when that ball is snapped? What is their reaction to the action that they're seeing? We're going to incorporate some type of footwork, running bags, jumping lines, all those normal drills you guys have seen 100 times. We're not going to talk about those. And I am going to overemphasize our hands. My guys hate the hands drills because we do them nonstop every day. I've had one guy jump off sides in the last 5 years playing defensive line. And my voice starts squeaking because I'm yelling hut, 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 nonstop all the time. Well, one of my defensive linemen from Western Illinois jumps offside in a playoff game, and he comes over and he goes, "My bad, coach." I go, "What'd you do?" I go, "You know what's going on?" He goes, "Yeah, I just jumped the count." So he's trying to cheat it. Well, one time in 5 years, I'll take that every now and then. It's not a bad deal. You don't want him doing it all the time. But, you know, that's one of the things that we overemphasize as well is making sure our get-offs are good. So, what I'm going to kind of show you guys is our progression for 1 year. Okay? We were hired at the University of South Dakota last year in January. And this is the very first day of spring ball last year. Okay? And there's a couple things I want you to see. Number one is the progression that is made on the little things. Stuff that we work on and harp on every day. So you're going to see some drills from last spring. You're going to see some drills from fall camp last year before our season. And then you're going to see some video of different things that I use to break down from games. Okay? Now I don't know how much time and how far we're going to get through this stuff this morning. But we will continue on this afternoon in the same spot we leave off. Okay? So when you look at this video, I'm working on a get-up. I'm telling them you're in a right-handed stance or a left-handed stance. I tell them the down and distance. 1st and 10, that tells them right now base stance, not very much stagger in my stance. And this is the very first rep. And so I've told them, it's 1st and 10, right-handed stance, base stance. What I want you to do is to watch how big their first step is. Their first step should be in the ground right now quick. I want them to try and get 2 steps in before they would cross this imaginary line of scrimmage. See how big their first step is? It's almost a yard. And they're all excited. They're ready to go. Let's go. No, it's not about that all the time. You have to understand the situation. So when you watch them and you watch these guys get off on the rock, every one of them has a bad first step. They're at bend at 90 degrees. They're not coming out at 45. But those are all little things that I filmed right away from day one that I knew I was going to have to correct. That's not working very good here. Try to rewind it. There we go. That's a long ways away for it. Okay, so this is another day, and they're coming back, if I can get it to work correctly. See how they're getting their 2 steps in now? They're tap-tapping their feet. There's a big difference from day 1 to day 2. Now, we start with the right-handed stance, and then we'll always come back with the left-handed stance. The next drill I want to show you is our reaction drill. All right, I got to go upstairs and run this thing. Sorry. Otherwise, it's going to get all screwed up, and you guys won't understand what I'm talking about. they're double tapping now. They're trying to get it in. They're still struggling with it a little bit. So we come back another day. Now there's a big difference on them coming out and trying to get those steps in. They're starting to work on it more every single time. We're not even in pads yet, and we'll spend 5 minutes doing some of this stuff so you can get it corrected and it works well for what you want. Now, I can't remember, this is over a year ago, if I'm talking to them about 3rd and 5, which is a pass or base downs every time. So, any questions on that? That's a really important drill that we do. All right, next thing is reaction. So if we talk about every single play, there's an action. You're looking at your key. There's some type of a base block, a reach or a hook, or a veer or down and away block, okay? And you have to be able to react to that. So what this drill does here is works their eyes. So I start off roughly 4.5 yards from them, okay? So you can see right here, I'm roughly 4.5 yards to 3 yards away from them. What happens as we go through this drill is that I scoot forward. I get closer to them. Okay? And there's 4 main things that we do. I give them a set hit. They come out of their stance. I'm going to point lateral right or lateral left. I'm going to give them a pass action, which you can see right here. I'm going to give them a draw, which I'll retrace straight back downhill, or screen reads, which is break at 45. So I want them coming out of their stance and have to react right now to the visual key that I'm giving them. Now you can see they're guessing. Look at the guy on the right. He's starting to run to his right. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. All he's got to do is play with your eyes and see the key. Come off the rock. This is a screen. So I want him to turn and run at 45 degrees. I don't want him to run really wide and run around like a fish hook. I want it sharp. I want the foot in the ground now and change direction. You can see 99, he's just running. He doesn't know what the hell's going on either. He's supposed to be turning and running at the back corner of the end zone, like 47. Now this is early in spring ball that I'm working these drills. This is a draw. So I want them to plant and retrace, get back downhill exactly where they started from. This is a lateral. Okay, now you see the guy to my left, or the guy that's on top of the video? That kid's 5'10", 245 pounds. And I'll show you the way this kid plays. He made a lot of plays for us this last season because he is very, very good with his technique. He's an ass kicker. Still, same thing. They're not reacting real fast. This is early in spring. I want to see them change directions. Now, see what I just did there? Scooting closer to them. They don't pay attention to what I'm doing. If they run into me, I'm going to knock them out. So they got to be able to react pretty quick. But it's just getting your eyes to play fast. We spend a ton of time on this one as well. You've got to be able to get those guys moving fast. Here's a side angle. This is later on. I give them a pretty quick signal. I'm starting this one at under 3 yards here. But you think about it, they're a yard off the ball. They've got to be able to redirect and react right now to whatever key they're getting. And they better run. I want them to give me 4 to 5 hard steps, and then they're changing direction. Now, I don't coach this. I don't want guys coming out and standing and tapping and trying to guess what they're supposed to do. I want it now. That's too slow. They have to be able to react and go. These guys take 2 steps here, boom, boom, and they're changing direction and they're running. I want them playing fast. Now, here's some game video of of what I was talking about. So let's watch the defensive line here. We're running a little simple blitz, but they still have to react to what they see and change direction. So you can see on the defensive line up top how fast those individuals change direction and go. That's within 2 steps. But that's what this drill is for. Okay? I want to see cats run. It's all about effort. So if you watch the nose, that's that little 5'10" guy. And this 3 technique, okay, him and him, he's kind of slow on his read, but you'll see him take off and run. But watch how fast they react and get to the football. That's a nose guard making the tackle on the sideline of game field. That's a 3 technique, number 47, running by, laughing, because he got a 2-yard gain out of this. You can see the defensive end coming late. 1 defensive lineman, 2 defensive linemen, 3 defensive linemen on a pass play, running to the sideline making a play. I don't coach that. That's called embarrassing. All right? He's not using his hands. He's not aggressive. And then he gets pushed down by a soft receiver. But you guys get my point with the D-line here. These guys are humping it. I love that crap. I'll take that all day long. There's another play. I want you to watch this nose guard. This is against New Mexico. Unbelievable football team. Coached extremely well. So they're going to have a little bit of a mistake in the backfield. But what I want you to watch is how fast that kid turns and runs once he realizes what the play is. And that's all the way out on the sideline again. Okay, that's out by the numbers. But that is that drill. Get your kids to see something right now and react and run. Good things happen when you get 11 players turning and running their ass off to the football. Now, he didn't cause the fumble, the corner did. And I made fun of the last corner. But that guy's pretty impressive on this play because this guy stinks. He's standing there watching what's going on. Then all of a sudden, wow, he gets trucked. Number 90, the nose, is the one that recovers the fumble going in to score. Because he's playing with his eyes and he's turning, he's running to the football. That's what this game's about. Play it fast up front on the defensive line. He's right there. Does a really good job with his hands. He gets separation. Sees what's going on. Throws the offensive lineman off of him. And just runs. That's all you got to do is run. Good things happen when you run to the football. Now he comes over the sideline, I give him a headbutt. I get pretty excited about stuff. Okay, now. Okay. I want to just start talking about some of our other drills real quick. I said before that I spend a ridiculous amount of time on the hands and on the sled. Other than that, just leave it there for now, okay? So what I want to do is kind of demonstrate a little bit what this drill is. When I talk about our hand drill, I'll use sleds all use bodies. You can use a bumper of a car, you can use a chair, you can use a couch. You can use whatever you want to use, but it's all about how fast you can move your hands, okay? So, I don't want to break this thing, but if I got this thing right here, okay? You guys all see me? There, I'll get up here. So I have this podium here, made of cement, just so you know, it's real heavy, okay? When we talk about our hand placement, I want to start guys in a 6-point stance. So toes, knees, and hands. And all I'm going to do is give them a set hit. Okay? And we use that ball all the time. So when we break it down and we talk about progression, how we want to break a drill down and then build it back up, all I want to do is see how fast a defensive lineman can get his hands to the edge of the bag, the car bumper, a chair, whatever you want to use. I don't care. Don't do it on girls. Okay? You want to make sure your hands are fast. So when we get down in this position, their eyes should be up so they can see what they're attacking. Nothing will move other than their hands and their arms to that finished position. In 45, nice flat back, no standing up, no twisting, no turning, not doing anything. It's just the speed. How fast can you move your hands from the ground to whatever you're attacking? So it'll look like this. That hit, and that's all you're doing, okay? And we'll go 3 times. We'll rotate that around. Excuse me. Then we'll bring in our stance. A right-handed stance and a left-handed stance. In a base stance. Okay? Nothing's moving. So if they get down in their stance, and I tell them 1st and 10 base stance, toe to instep, stagger, feet just outside of their width of their body, underneath their shoulders, and they're down and their eyes are up and their hands in a ready position. That's all they got to do to get in that stance. Okay? So when they get in that stance and I give a set hit, nothing's moving but their hands. Again, how fast can they go from the ground to the bag? Then I'm going to add in the feet. Then I want to go boom. I want the double tap in. You get 2 steps. That's the 3rd part of this. Then you bring in their hips and the roll. Okay? So there's 4 parts to it. And then eventually we'll work on our release. We never got to rolling our hips in 15 practices through the spring last year because we couldn't master the other part of it. Now they did it when they went out to practice, but for the drill and where I want these guys to be as sharp as they can on the little things, I'm not going to progress past that. Not the majority. Because if you're moving too fast, you're going to skip something. And then you're going to have crappy players. I don't like crappy players. I don't want to be a crappy coach. It's important to me that you guys understand that I got a screw loose. Okay? That I will spend 20 minutes on a hands drill. Because it's that important. You can't play D-line like this. Can't do it. They got to be there. And they got to be grabbed. That's why my fingers are so fuzzed up. I played middle linebacker at Nebraska. But if I didn't use my hands, I was going to get the crap knocked out of me or I was getting cut against the old option stuff. Guys got to play with their hands and their eyes and their feet. And that's why it's so important to hammer this stuff out. Okay? So I'll use sleds. I use agiles. You can use pop-ups. You can use bodies. It's whatever you can do to get your guys to shoot their hands. You can use a wall, put a line on the wall, I don't care. But they got to do it every day. Over and over and over again. All right, so let's see if we can watch a couple before they move me out of here. You hit that space bar? You sleeping? All right, well, or am I so here we go. This is the first day from last spring. We got 3 minutes. All right, let me just show you a couple shots of this and I'll shut it down. So this is last spring, and it's cold, and it's snowy, icy. Guys are complaining. That's one of my guys that helps me, and dressed in all black. He's got rain gear on. He thought it was going to snow like 2 feet. He was all scared. Screw that, let's go. Okay? But you see their fit right here? The finish. Eyes are up, locked out, feet, knees are in the ground. That's the fit I'm talking about. And it's how fast can you get them up, just on a set hit. And I want them to check their hands every time. They have to coach themselves. I'm watching the guy down on the end. I watch the guy near me. You can't see everybody every single time. We can with film. Make sense? All right, we'll continue on from here this afternoon. Bring your questions. We'll have a good time. Thank you.